I think so much of this game and this sport is about connection. It's connection with fans, alumni, students, and players also. And we often don't see that connection. We saw that connection with the cadets and the Aggie players last week, especially with what I think is maybe the greatest jersey swap of all time after the game. It was Ryan Campbell, wide receiver for Texas A&M, took off his jersey and gave it to one of the cadets at A&M, Adam Carey, who then gave his cadet uniform to Ryan Campbell, and they took a photo sitting on the student section on the wall, swapping uniforms. I loved it because so often, we think of these things in a vacuum of these are football players, these are athletes, they're separated from the university. It's cool to see that connection with a football team and the greater university, which we saw last week.
I'm sticking with last week as well, a little bit earlier, before we saw one of the great upsets in college football. My Iowa Hawkeyes, they were out there taking on Penn State. Nobody gave us a chance. Clay picked Penn State. Forget him. You know why we won the game? Because of our punter. That's right, our punter. Tory Taylor is the MVP for Iowa. Punters are people, too. Pat McAfee was going crazy on Twitter for the brand. It was all out there. 6 punts inside the 12, 3 punts inside the 3, 1 directly leading to the first interception for the game for the Iowa Hawkeyes, getting them on the board first. We needed that field goal, people, because we didn't score very many other points in that first half, so we needed that. So I love that, first of all, Iowa fans take punting seriously, because there was a game back in 2019, Iowa against Rutgers. Rutgers punter basically was Taylor of this last weekend. And the Big Ten Special Teams Award went out to Ohio State punter. The Iowa fans ratioed the hell out of the Big Ten, going, I'm sorry, did you forget that Rutgers was in the Big Ten? That punting saved you from 14 to 21 points, no doubt. So they take punting seriously in Iowa, and I love it.
Hold on, I'm hearing something from our producer. Iowa just lost more points in our second best team in the country poll because Jill just gave their MVP award to a punter. So they are in fact, we're going to remove Iowa from the poll in the next one and replace them with Ohio State because Jill just gave the MVP award of their biggest win again to a punter.
Listen, when you have the defense that an Iowa or a Georgia has, and you have the field position that you have to go up against, and you're starting on your own 3, your own 5, your own 10, and you have to go 90-plus yards down the field, and you can do that against an Iowa team or a Georgia team, congratulations to you. You earned it.
Jill prefers football in 1952, apparently. The next week she's going to talk about the quick kick and the value of it when Iowa starts punting on third down.
Are we going to squib
just to
kick
get it back
well?
to their defense to try to get a turnover.
That's right.
That's the next step in Iowa's progression and Jill's progression as a football fan.
Points off turnovers, Hawkeyes leading the nation.
Congrats to your Hawkeyes.
Thank you.
Good job. Way to knock the quarterback out, which apparently you called it last week.
5
you said consistently they knocked the starting quarterback out.
The 4 before had been pulled due to poor performance. This one was because of injury.
Well, either way, job well done.
I had to give them a little bit of love. You guys gave me a hard time last week for talking too much about my Hawkeyes, so I contained them into one tiny section of this week's show. I hope it's okay.
It's okay. Do you also boo legitimate injuries like the rest of your fans? And James Franklin calling out Kirk Ferentz in Iowa?
I mean, Kirk has been there since 1999, and he's never said anything like that before.
I was shocked that he went there afterward, but it was also...
Joel Klatt went there in the broadcast.
Look, it's game, set, match for Iowa because they won the game, obviously, but game, set, match for James Franklin when he pulls out his whole message from his shorts and just goes into a written statement about it and then ends with, oh, by the way, here's our injury report. The defensive tackle that was booed is out for the season now. So how do his parents feel?
So his
after
message
that? It was a great comeback from Franklin.
Why would we intentionally slow down a game that is already extremely slow?
Yeah, which was a good point.
I think he missed the mark, though. Why would we intentionally slow down a game where the punter is the MVP?
Exactly.
Right?
If he would have watched this show and listened to Jill, he would know he could have gone with that.
He would have known. Punters are people, too. Stick with us on OutKick the Tailgate. We will have our picks against the spread when we come back here live in Athens, Georgia. Hang with us.